been talking to a lot of creatives, and they were saying how they use writing as a way to, channel that energy and also just keep the mind from going insane. And I know you and I have collaborated on a couple of projects like writing together, and we're trying to, make them a reality.
Yeah.
How I wanted to ask you, like, because I have a different method, and I'm sure you do. What is your method when it comes to writing? Like, how do you find that inspiration? How do you get it? Where do you kind of look towards?
Oh, that's we're going straight into those serious questions, eh?
Going right into the serious questions. Don't want to lose
Yeah.
anybody on the podcast.
All right, right
Yeah.
on. No, for me, like, as I'm pretty sure for every artist out there, like
Mhm.
we try to find inspiration in like our daily life, right?
Mhm.
And one of the things our teacher said, Randy, like he said, "Hey, write what you know," right? So
That's the
every
teacher
time
from
I'm,
Rain Dance, by the way.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, to let everyone know. Yeah.
shout out to Randy.
Yeah. Good guy.
But yeah, very. And as artists, right? Like we try to express ourselves, right? It's
Mhm.
whether like writing, music, or like through our bodies, telling stories and whatnot. It begins with something that we want to
Yeah.
express, right? Or something we want to tell. And since I'm not good at singing, I try to, stick to the things that I
You know
know.
best.
and
Yeah.
and yeah. So with regards of getting inspired and how I go about writing, like starting a script or something, I try to allow myself to get inspired, like
Mhm.
in terms of if I have an interaction with a friend, or I'm at work, I'm on set doing something. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Oh,
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? Or even when I'm on a walk, I see something pretty cool, like a piece of art, or
Yeah.
like even just in general, like walking, it's a beautiful day, and you're like, you know what? Like, and
Yeah.
then you kind of get inspired into, and that like initiates some in me that I'm like, you know what, how about if I want to write this, like I want to express this, I want to, like, show the world
Mhm.
this,
Something
it's
that you're
just
experiencing, you want to relay it back, and through
exactly
maybe dialogue, through a scene, maybe a character, right? Like that
right.
piece
Yeah.
of beauty you
And
witnessed, right?
that's pretty much how
Mhm.
I go about it. Yeah,
That's great.
exactly. and
Yeah, I'm happy you brought
and
up. Sorry, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask you the same thing,
Ye-
because you're a writer as well, and
Right.
how you go about going, like, looking into it and writing your scripts as well.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm glad you brought up Randy, by the way, because yeah, he was a great teacher, great mentor, um, and he had this laid back, kind of relaxed attitude towards writing. And
Yeah,
before going taking that class, I even would talk to you about it. Like writing is just deadly. I talked about it on the last podcast with a friend of mine,
yeah,
and looking at that blank page takes a lot of courage. People don't realize like it's harder than it looks. But his approach made you feel more relaxed because he would not only have techniques, but it's just his character and his charisma
yeah,
made you feel like anyone can write if you have a story that you're passionate to tell. And one thing that drew me about to his teachings is he mentioned how he uses photography and music to get inspired. And for me, that's kind of my method where, um, yeah, there's events in my life or there's certain situations and scenes that I want to tell, but it's only until I start listening to music or I maybe get inspired by like a cinematic shot or just, you know what I mean? Like something that transcends it and says, okay, this
yeah,
is something I want to sit down and write about, right? So basically, like the stuff that, you were sending me and we want to kind of develop, what kind of inspired me is the fact that I take a moment where I picture like, okay, what is this story trying to tell, but then I go to that place where like I think of the music or I think of the tone, like the cinematography, and that's what gets me
yeah.
really inspired to keep going.